bit to drink.
Not my cut, not my problem.
So I, without realizing it, started to say the things the staff wanted to say. This guy's going on and on about how high the prices are, and he was Eastern European something, Latvian, something like that, maybe even Russian. And he was bitterly complaining, and I, before I could stop myself, said, "It's called capitalism. It's very popular where I come from." and he complained that the meal at the hotel is 18 euros. You can go across the street and get the exact same meal for 6 euros. And I said, "Did you?" He said, "Yes." I said, "So what's the problem?" I can't remember the other things I said, but I felt so badly afterward. I went up to Cheetah. I said, "I'm so sorry." He said, "No, no, we all wanted to say it." Now, it is not that we do not want feedback. We like feedback. We like people to tell us how we can make the convention better. But guys, be real. Be realistic. The guy at Anthrocon who complained that he didn't like the stairs and wanted us to redesign the stairs. I'll go back in time to the ancient Egyptians and tell them those stairs suck. You're going to have to make them better. What else? What else? Dreadful.
About the registry, it was in code. You couldn't. The story about the registry. You wanted to check everything that was ordered from the con store, and
oh yes, the cash register. Oh, good Lord.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for remembering the things I do. Does anybody not know the story of the cash register?
Yeah. The Sentin one?
Our con store requires me to report everything that is sold and all of the tax that has to be paid for it. It's record keeping. It's necessary because we have to report this to the government. I was supposed to get what's called a Z report, and that's, or Z report for the English here. There's a little key on the register. You turn it to the Z position, and you push a button, and it is supposed to print out a little short report. It's this long that says you sold 150 t-shirts for this much money, you collect this much tax, and that's easy. At the end of the convention, having put everything into the storage locker in Pittsburgh and then driven the 500 kilometers to Philadelphia, I called my con store manager and said, I can't find the Z report for the cash register. And he said, "Didn't you run it?" I said, "No, you were supposed to run it." He said, "No, I thought you were going to run it." So it's still sitting in the cash register, which is 500 kilometers that way. I had to make a special trip, and I had to get volunteers because our storage locker is about 1/3 the size of this room, and it is filled to capacity. I met the volunteers there, and as can be predicted, the cash register in question was at the far back corner on the ground down here. So we unpacked the entire place. I pulled the cash register out. I plugged it in, and I said, "Okay, Z report." Okay, took the thing out. You turn the key to Z, and you push a button, and the little display said, "Mott Pass." What? What the hell? What's Mott Pass? So the guy next to me said, well, try it again. I said, push the button. It says Mott Pass. I said, well, let's clear this. I hit clear, and it said error frappe. Oh, wait. I recognize that. Mott Pass, mot pass. It's asking for a password in French. So I quickly got on my cell phone. I called the con store manager, who is a 2-hour time difference. I woke him up, but I don't care because I need this information. And I said, "Excuse me, I have 2 questions. 1, what is the password? 2, who taught the register to speak French?" He said, "I didn't teach you to speak French." I said, well, somebody did. Is this a Quebecois cash register? Is it trying to set up its own distinct society in the corner of the storage locker? What's going on? And what is the Mott Pass? He said, try 0. El frappe. Keystroke error. I said, yeah. He said, 1. El frappe. Want to try again? And he paused. He said, try 2. Accepte. Whoa! Somebody write this down. The Mott Pass is 2. So, okay, Mott Pass is in. So I pushed the thing, turned to Z, and I pushed, and it starts going jump, 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 until the tape was run out. What was on the tape was not French. It was not English. It was not any language that was ever spoken on this planet. So there was plan B. The cash register, when it makes the receipt to give to the customer, it keeps a copy inside in a large spool that is this big. So I took that home and I spent several hours going through it. Okay, 1 T-shirt,
Oh.
1 T-shirt, 1 tape. Yeah. That cash register is currently at the bottom of the Allegheny River. It fell off the truck. Fucking fraud register.
How the sex stars?
Okay. All right. You've driven it from your mind. Do you want to remember it?
No, of course not. I don't remember which card it was. 13. Actually, was 13 or 14? One of them.
Yeah, AF13 is the default answer.
Really good. The Ringberg was cool, but the Ringberg had a lot of shit going on. I remember I got a call one night from one of my oldest people in the team. You must have seen a Rush guy, really, really huge guy running around, really big one. He went to the main stage one night. He just wanted to check if the door is locked. The door was not locked. So he walked in, around, just to find 2 persecutors on the main stage being engaged in curricular activities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But right on the bloody main stage. And now here's why I love Roshka so much. He walked up to the front of the house and switched on the spotlight. It was the first time I saw First Order flashing in public as he was running around the lobby. I pissed myself laughing for 2 days straight. I didn't even give him a warning because it was just so embarrassing.
Sometimes punishment is already administered.
This can go horribly wrong. 2 days ago, I think, or last day, I don't remember, doesn't matter. When you look into the lobby on the far, from here the far right, back there are those windows that go directly into the rooms, and the other side of the window goes into the lobby express. So I was up on that balcony in the lobby, looking around, and I looked into this window and, wait, that isn't right. I'm not, no, but those 2 are not supposed to be in this position. Not with the window. Okay. They were making fun in there. I went to the door. No. Excuse me, security. They opened up. Yes. Are you okay in there? Yes. Mind me joining in? No. Be careful what you wish for.
Well, again, sometimes you don't have to administer punishment. Sometimes it's, the act itself is its own punishment. I had a similar circumstance. The thing is, I have a high-rise hotel. My hotel has 25 floors. Sadly, there is an office building next door with 35 floors. And our hotel received a phone call from somebody on the 18th floor with a similar report. And they said, okay, which floor is it? And they said it here, and it's like the 5th window in. So security went up there. This one. Security. And the same thing. Yes? They say, the insurance company across the way just wants you to close the curtains. The funny thing is, you never have another problem with these people.
Usually. Speak for yourself. Do you remember the story last year in Magdeburg with me undercover?
Oh.
The one that led to this person being kicked out?
I'm still not sure how you were undercover. Were you dressed as a nun or something? Or just like that?
Oh no, I'm not that.
Yeah.
I always thought my kindergarten person, the cast person, was pretty much a dragon, so this is really cool.
You find her sexy too?
I was 4.
You're German though. Sorry, continue, sorry.
German, not French.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We got reports about a gentleman, one of our attendees, harassing fursuiters. He was running around, groping them, touching them inappropriately, chasing them around, stalking, etc. It was really horrible. But we never got a clear case of it. We had no CCTV back then. We had a lot of witnesses' reports, but nothing that could identify him perfectly fine, so we could actually do something about it. Now, at some point, we get really close, and I had the chance to give this guy a formal warning. Look, we know it's you. I can't prove it, but don't fuck with me again. Now, he didn't listen. Now, at one night, out of fun, just to fuck with people's minds, I lent the fursuit of one of the biggest fandom sluts known. Now, I walked around in this fursuit just for fun in the lobby, playing tricks on people. I had a lot of fun, and suddenly somebody grabbed my butt. And I walked back to the group. It took him 1 minute. He came close and actually got my crotch. At that moment, I turned around, slowly to the fursuit lounge, and he was like, I took my head off. You have half an hour to leave the hotel. It was 2 years ago, and to this very day, I received emails from fursuiters saying, "Thank you." Sometimes you just have to run lucky. 2 days ago, we got a message. And there are people having a very distinctive party in the sauna. And the sauna has been arranged on a very famous internet platform for these things. It's called, I think, FetLife. Maybe you might know it. And I said, oh shit, how do we get names? How do we get these people? I mean, they were actually arranging stuff there, saying we can play security like that, we can do the hotel like that. And one of my security guards came and said, hi, I'm chief administrator of FetLife. I get my information.
You know, you would be, I've been trying to get Dari to go to Anthrocon because I think he would have fun there.
Don't have the money. I need to spend it all to work here.
Because you would have loved my security log this year. Sometimes it's easy. We had 5 major security reports, all the same name. I'll just call him Mr. M. Yeah, Mr. M. And Mr. M, by the way, is going to be getting a letter from me. Let's see, what did Mr. M do? Mr. M got drunk in a hotel room and passed out on the bed, and the people in the hotel room could not wake him up. Oh, scary, so they called downstairs. Now, Willie, the police officer, went up there along with hotel security and one of my medics, just to make sure this is okay, and they tried to wake him up. He came up swinging. He started punching at the officer, who turned him around and put bracelets on him for safety. The nice part about having, if I can, a furry police officer was instead of taking this man downtown, he found out where he was supposed to be. Took him in the handcuffs to that room, knocked on the room. When the door opened, he said, "Is this yours?" They said yes. He said, "Okay, keep it in there." Along the way, my medic, since this guy was very combative, took his badge away. The nice thing about having the Dorsia regulars is they work at a lot of different conventions. They knew Mr. M. So they told me that this happens to him a lot. So Mr. M came down to get his badge, and he gave me the excuse. By the way, don't use this excuse. It's never going to work. He came down and said, "Somebody spiked my drink." Really, somebody put something in your drink. Did they? Was it by chance vodka? And apparently, according to my security, he'd used this excuse many times. So I said, "Let's go for a walk." And he kept telling me, "I'm telling you, somebody slipped something into my drink." I said, "Yes, that seems to happen to you a lot. I think maybe somebody's out to get you. Maybe you should have the FBI do a little security for you here." Well, he changed his tune and said he was going to stop drinking. I gave him his badge back on the sole promise in front of all my security that if they saw him with a glass in his hand, whether it was alcoholic or not, they would throw him out. Well, later, over the course of the weekend, we got reports of the guy burning holes in a carpet in a hotel room, and the guy smoking another vapor cigarette in the hall, which tends to set off the fire alarms, and he wouldn't stop when they told him to. We got the report of the guy cruising around in the parking garage and crashing into cars. Whoa. And it was great, because the same name. This made it easy. And then, at the post-con meeting with the hotel after the convention, they said, "Okay, we do have a particular issue that we need to bring up." And I said, "Is the name perhaps M?" And they said, "Yes." I said, "It's being taken care of." Give me the details anyway. That's when the burned carpet came up. Okay, I dropped something hot on the carpet. I put the iron on the carpet. No, they were apparently making burn art. They're making patterns of burns in the carpet. And the hotel manager said, "We're going to have to bill him for at least a square yard of carpeting to be replaced." And I said, "Oh, that won't look very good. I think you have to replace the carpeting in the entire room, just to make sure it matches." "Oh, and since the color will be different, I think you're going to have to repaint the walls, too." There's a saying in furry fandom in the States: "You don't fuck with Uncle Conker."
That's what
I like it.
Yeah, at my age, I've done this.
But the stuff you find in hotel rooms is hilarious. I still remember we had a puke lane from the elevator landing all the way through the corridor to a room.
The guy tried to deny it, right?
Yeah, and he didn't try to deny it, but he tried to clean up himself. And yeah, that's, you don't brush shit into the carpet. You're talking about shit at hotel rooms.
Oh dear.
We have something we call crinkle duty.
I'm going to sit over here.
You see my minions clap. actually works Confazzols, Colloferens, Eurofert. We have a lot of European conventions that we run. And at every single convention, whatever it is, we have a party of certain subgroups that are into certain things. Now, nobody judges what people are into. However, if you start repainting the wall with biological paint, we had entire hotel rooms under ozone disinfection for 2 days after the convention.
Oh.
We had hotel rooms that had to be renovated completely after conventions. Oh, by the way, it's not a cool idea to build a new art out of the bed structure. Anybody of you have been in the first Furrycon panel? Do you remember when Kagi said, don't try to be a lawyer on the rules?
Yeah.
The big L, back in the Ringberg again. We had him a while longer though. The big L, you might remember the story. He came down the lobby having vodka in his hand in his private bottle. He said, look, it's really, really not a good idea to drink your own private stuff here and right in front of the bar. This is really not a good way to say thank you to the hotel. He said, went upstairs, came back down and had a large flask in his hand. I said, are you kidding? You said I shouldn't have my bottle down here. I said, bring it up now. No bottles, nothing that has anything to screw shut, nothing you can drink from. And no joke, the next evening in front of the bar on the desk was a 50-liter keg of beer. You remember that one?
I do. Schadenfreude. Well, Dari alluded to something earlier. Many of you may know this story, but I love telling it about the rules lawyer. Anthrocon used to have a very long list of prohibited weapons. You may not have the following weapons. You may not have pistols, you may not have rifles, you may not have shotguns, you may not have flintlock pistols, you may not have black powder cannon, you may not have balisong knives, folding knives, buck knives. It went on, you know, sword canes, any kind of sword, any blade longer than 4 inches. It just filled 2 whole pages. It was very comprehensive, or so we thought. I came downstairs, walked across the hotel lobby, and stopped when I saw a man playing with a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher. And I ran up to him, and he looked at me smugly and said, "It's not in the list." I don't know, I just, it wasn't, he's right, it's not in the list, I'm leaving. That's when we changed the rule. That's when we changed the rule to say, no weapons. Oh, speaking of changing the rules, most of the American conventions borrow my rules. I've been at it a long time, and our rules usually have had enough shit happen that we've added to them that so the others figure it's experience. This guy came up with a new one. We found out that he was in the dealer's room selling stuff. He had not paid for a dealer membership. We charge for a membership for the dealer's room because it cost me $25,000 to rent this room.
We don't.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta say it. Give it time. So he had not paid for a dealer membership. We expect you to pay for your space. And we accosted him and said, now you are supposed to buy a dealer membership. And he said, I don't need one. And I said, yes you do. And he said, the dealer's room rules only state that all sales must be made in the dealer's room. It never actually says you have to be a dealer. And I was like, crap. I had to send a note out to all of my colleagues saying, guys, you pay attention to this. Because there are regulations in our country, there are tax issues. You cannot just start selling stuff to people. There are registrations. I have to report all the dealers and everything. So we've changed the rules a little bit here. Oh, and have you ever had a dealer say that stuff had been stolen?
Oh yeah, 300 euro. 2 years ago.
Oh, 300 yards. And how did they find it?
No, we found it.
You found it?
They had it stolen
Oh,
by leaving it right on the bar.
yeah. That happens all the time.
The entire cash was in one bag, and they just left the bag on the bar on the table at night.
85% of what is in Dare's Lost and Found right now is going to be reported stolen. I saw it happen myself 2 years ago at Africon. A very expensive video camera on a tripod in the lobby. It was turned off, it wasn't recording. And I was in the lobby and I walked past it several times. And I asked people, is this, are you? And it was there the next day. Still not turned on, just sitting there. And I asked the front desk, I asked everyone around, does anybody know who this belongs to? Nobody knew. So I picked it up, put it on my shoulder, and took it to the Lost and Found. Sure enough, on Sunday, a guy came in frantically, somebody stole my video camera! And I said, oh, I happened to be there. I said, oh, really, really, describe it. And he described a very expensive video camera on a tripod. And I said, well, where did you last see it? He said, it was in the lobby. I just walked away for a couple minutes. You see, they're laughing as though this didn't happen. This actually happens. That's why we look the way we do. You do realize I'm 26 years old.
Until I'm 14, No, this actually happens, yeah. Yesterday, my fursuit got stolen from the fursuit lounge. You have no idea how much paperwork that actually has as a trail afterwards. The thing is, it got stolen, reported as stolen to us. We have to do the paperwork, we have to file the incident, the police report comes in, we have to call the in-house security, we have to search for it. There's a ton of paperwork behind that. And an hour later, she came in, yeah, my boyfriend just borrowed it. Oh, we're talking about Schadenfreude.
Ah, fuck you. Yeah, we had the fellow who was complaining because his membership badge always flipped around backwards and people couldn't read it. And I was like, well, that's a terrible, what the hell am I supposed to do? I can't stop the badge from flipping around backwards. And Cheetah said, oh, we just print on both sides. I would have thought of that eventually. We had a stolen iPad. Hi.
Can I play Dory for a minute?
Yes, please. This is where stories come from.